of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MetaShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MetaShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MetaShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MetaShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before November 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is November 30th. So call now and you'll save even more. Here's the number: 866-89-BIBLE. That's 866-89-BIBLE. 866-89-BIBLE.
Get ready for the most electrifying football action of the season right here on Rocket 1025. Cheer on your Denver Broncos with every thrilling play, every game-winning drive, and every heart-pounding moment. Don't miss a second of action. Tune in all season long to Rocket 1025. Broncos football, powered by FMB Bank, Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Colby Ag Center, Tubbs & Son Sports Sales, Hoxie Feed Yard Imperial Beef, Next Tech Wireless, Burlington Ford, Zimmelman's Jewelry, and Vince's GM.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery, ingestion, and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
When getting the job done right is job one. You need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today and ask about the Kubota construction lineup. Take care of your Kubota construction needs at Colby Ag Center, 305 West Horton Avenue in Colby, Kansas.
This holiday season, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has the perfect gifts to make Christmas merry and bright. Need something special for that grill master? Check out their top line of grills and griddles from Blackstone, Traeger, and Weber. Guaranteed to make their holiday sizzle. Stocking stuffers, they've got you covered with tools, gadgets, and must-haves for every DIYer in your life. And tackle winter head-on with their powerful Eco snowblowers, perfect for clearing the way this season. Plus, spruce up your home for the holidays with a fresh coat of Benjamin Moore paint, or get ready for the new year with a stunning remodel. Enjoy the holidays this year with Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, with locations in Goodland and Colby.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities, contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
The Red Tag Sales Event is going on at Pearl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas, and the savings are rolling in. Right now, drive home with 0% APR on select popular Chevy models, making it the perfect time to upgrade. Or take advantage of 1.9% APR for 60 months, plus over $3,700 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Imagine the possibilities in a new Chevy, from trucks to SUVs, all with these amazing savings. Stop by Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas, and find your perfect match. Or online at hurlchev.com.
Owner Mr. Mike Cochran, Edson, Kansas, has sold a lot of iron with his CFS Auction Company. It's an online auction service that sells one item or a complete farm dispersal. It's powered by AuctionTime.com with thousands of bidders. Mike works one-on-one with you from start to finish. I mean, he realizes that it's your life investment. There can be a lot of emotions. So he pledges to get you top dollar. He offers very competitive commission rates. Go online to CFSauctions.com, like Cochran Farm Supply. That's CFSauctions.com.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Being a Nebraska football fan these past few years and watching this team week in and week out, I kind of compare it to like doing drugs. You know you shouldn't do it, but you can't stop. Kids, don't do drugs.
the region's only local sports talk.
Not this again.
Yes, this again.
Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, simulcasting on Goodland's 730 Gold KLOE.
Guys everywhere.
Discussing it all from the preps.
Brumbaugh fakes the three, fires it from the corner. Yes!
To the pros.
They set up the screen. McLaughlin has it with Miners out in front. McLaughlin's got a first down inside the 10, inside the 5. Touchdown, Denver.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, as well as the Insurance Agency, Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Definitely showing the Hawkeyes they're not going to roll over tonight. Here's Williams trying a 17-footer, and it bounces in. How did that go? The shot was long, kicked off the back of the rim, up in the air at the exact same spot, and then landed softly and went through. Maya along the left side, hands it off. Evans, a three. Got it. L. Evans off the handoff from Samaya Nichols, knocks home a three.
Knocked away. Daniels got a deflection. Steph got it. Put it in and drew the foul. And then it went from steal, turnover, to field goal, foul. That's one way to not turn over.
Williams with 4. Everybody on their feet here in Stores. Drive to the hoop. Shot is missed. And a record has been set. From ground zero to 59 conference championships, 23 Final Fours, 11 national championships, win streaks of 70, 90, and 111. And now the all-time winningest coach in the history of college basketball. Gino Auriemma, 1,217 wins in an 85-41 victory here in Stores tonight.
Hey, and good Thursday morning, everybody. Welcome inside the Morning Blitz, broadcasting, of course, on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, also, of course, online at nwksradio.net, and video streaming available, of course, as always, through the Pearl Chevrolet GMC video stream, where this morning, if you tune in and see, yours truly, broadcasting live for the very first time from the brand new home of the Morning Blitz, the brand new KKCI studios. And boy, Max, do I have stories already here this morning on that front.
Sorry, there we are. On the video stream,
I was going to say, I don't know where you are, buddy.
I muted my own mic that time. That was on me. But what are the stories? Talk to me.
Okay, so anyway, as we all know, this new facility, of course, is located next to the railroad tracks. I can look out my window right now, and I can see railroad cars moving currently right now. They are 40 yards away. 40 yards is what I can see right now. So we're 40 yards away with railroad cars moving. I get across the tracks, I park the car, and that is when the crossing arms go down. So I was just about caught by a train on the very first day that I was here. That's the facts. I was just about caught on a train by a train on the very first day that I was going to broadcast here.
Of course. It makes too much sense.
Oh my, I'm telling you, it was it's interesting to say the very least, but I just about got caught by a tracks. So the biggest reason that we had not been in here yet was we didn't have the door or the windows up. But those have been put in, and or at least they're starting this week. The doors and windows are in now, at least on the inside. And the other reason why is that the heat was not working, obviously. So with the heat not working, we had to get the heat fixed. The heat guys came in, got it fixed. And so now it's like an oven in here. I mean, it is hot. I'm telling you right now. It was cold. Like you saw me when we were testing a few days ago.
Yeah.
It was cold. It was really, really cold. And, I was wearing a stocking hat and a coat in the studio. But anyway, I was just kind of laughing because I come in today and I'm like, good Lord, it's hot. And then I sit in the studio here, get ready for the show. I'm like, it's even hotter in this small room. I'm like closing vents, and I got to go probably during the next commercial break, got to go lower the heat down some. It's hot in this joint. It is hot now. So once again, the experiences of being in a new building, that is for sure. And if anything, if it sounds a little spacious, we have to realize that there's nothing on the walls currently right now. We're going to get some sound dampeners and some things like that to help make it not so cavernous, as the word that I have used many a times. But today, the very first, here on Thursday, November the 21st of 2024, our first official broadcast from the brand new building here on 1803 Cherry. So if you drive by, and there's a school bus I see behind me right now out the window. So if you drive by, you want to wave or honk, trust me, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to hear it. The walls are not super, super thick. I'm waiting for that first train whistle to come through, and Max is like, there's the train.
Yeah. Well, it'll happen.
So anyway, it's quite a day here today inside the brand new studios of NWKS Radio in Goodland. How are things going over in Colby this morning? No glasses today, so that must mean the cold's doing better.
It's doing better. I'm feeling better. It's cold outside, though. My goodness, it is so cold outside. But everything's doing good. I'm glad to see you out of the basement and into the new studio. It's exciting. It's exciting.
I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed the commute to the basement every morning.
I'm sure. I enjoyed it when I was back home, just rolling out of bed and walking to my desk.
No, it trust me, it works out just fine. And so, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a cold day today. It's kind of cold right now, I should say. It's going to get up to 54 today. Right now, sunshine and 25 expected here for our Thursday morning. And I know warmer temperatures are expected, I think, tomorrow and a little bit into the weekend. And then we'll get next week, prior to Thanksgiving, it's going to get chilly. So get prepared for that. But it's cold. Already the F&B Bank text line is chiming in already with our great listener, Jared. He goes, so all I heard was Chad was to blame for the location, heating, and windows. Okay, the heating, no. The location, actually, none of those things are Chad's fault, to be honest with you. The windows and doors, it's just part of construction, man. That's just part of construction. Everything takes time to get it in. There's only so much time in some people's days, but shout out to our contractor, Matt. He's been in here working all day yesterday. He got the doors up. He got the windows in. He's got some more trim work, and he's got some work to do in the lobby area. But we're getting closer and closer to being a complete building over here. And like I said, I've got to get some stuff on the walls to help dampen some of this echo voice. But anyway, we got lots to get to here on the Morning Blitz here on this Thursday morning. So glad that you have tuned in. We will talk a lot of baseball in segment 3. We've got Cy Young winners to talk about, some news for the Rockies with their backstop behind home plate. And, of course, Max can talk a lot about catching because of his dad, so he'll have some good information on Jacob Stallings. Wonder how big Jacob Stallings' calves are. Anyway, we'll also get into Gino Auriemma. You heard the highlight there in the opener. He's now the new basketball wins leader, but I have a question about that going into the walk-off. I'm really excited for today's guest. Hopefully we'll get him on the phone. That would be head coach of the Golden Plains Bulldogs. That'll be Travis Smith. He'll join us today, and we will talk with him about their run all the way into the state semifinals and their matchup against his good friend Brett Clow and Weskin coming up here on Friday night. So look forward to visiting with Coach Smith. And, of course, we have the NFL Power 5 coming up here in just a matter of moments. We'll get to it. It's not a great week in the NFL, to be completely honest with you. Not a good week. But we will get you our best games that we possibly think are going to be that. But first and foremost, shout out to Colby Community College Volleyball. CCC Volleyball gets a win in the first round of the NJCAA National Tournament last night at the Dunn Center on the campus of Austin Peay University. Celia Mbaya, 13 kills for her, leading the Lady Trojans in a 3-set sweep of the 4-seed Blinn College. So Lady Trojans were the 13 seed. They upseed the 4-seed Blinn College behind Mbaya's 13 kills. Carlotta Ketai with 11 kills for CCC. And they have advanced into the quarterfinals where they will take on the 5-seed Northeastern tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time, same exact time. You can watch that game on the NJCAA network. By the way, a little fun fact, the Lady Trojans, their first loss of the season, and their only loss for a long time in this season, back on August 30th, was to Northeastern up at a little classic tournament up in Wyoming is where that happened. And so we'll see if, hey, you lost that one, and I was told it was kind of on a little bit of a screwy deal where the gym was low and the roof was low on the gym. And so it kind of had some bad bounces off of that because the ball just wherever it goes off the roof, that's how you have to play it. And I was told there were some bad bounces that happened in that match. So we'll see what happens in the national tournament. Can Colby get past Northeastern? That'll be very interesting. That's tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time. So look forward to seeing that. Congratulations to Coach Carrie Jones and her ladies on advancing into the next round, the quarterfinals of the NJCAA National Tournament with a 3-set 3-0 sweep of Blinn College last night. So there you go. A quick look at what happened in local sports. Also last night, by the way, Kansas Jayhawk women suffering their first loss. They lose 71-58 to unbeaten Iowa at the Pentagon in Sioux Falls, the Sanford Pentagon to be exactly. How about this for a stat on this game last night for Max? The Samaya Nichols and Elle Evans were, of the 58 points scored for the Kansas basketball team, those two combined for 48.
That's great. That is not ideal, I wouldn't think, to have two players, unless it's a little higher. But KU just got a 5-star from my high school. Their women's basketball team did.
Really?
I'm trying to pull up. I cannot remember her name. Hold on. I'm going to try to pull it up really quickly. I saw it on my phone the other day. Jelia Davis.
There you go.
5-star, I think, top 20 nationally. Blue Valley North Mustang. So there you
Cool.
go. Shout out to her.
Very, very cool. Great to see that. That is for sure. All right. Like I said, we got lots to get to here on a show, but we're going to dive into our, what is an NFL Power 5. Let's get to it here right now. All right. Yeah. Talk to me about this week, Max. What are your overall thoughts on this week in the NFL Power 5?
Well, if you aren't a fan of Red Zone, which I don't know why, but some people aren't a fan of Red Zone, and I get that some people like watching the whole entire game to get the whole experience, but this is a good week to watch Red Zone, especially at 12 o'clock, because these games are bad. They're bad games. It was hard to find 5. I doubt you have an honorable mention this week, Ross. Do you?
Have an honorable mention.
Yeah, there's not a game deserving. There's not 5 good games, but I filled out a list. So.
All right, so start with number 5. What do you got today on 5?
Number 5, I have Tampa Bay versus the Giants. Just because Tommy DeVito is playing again, maybe bring some life to the Giants. Coach Dable's fighting for his life. I just it's Tommy DeVito. So, simply because he's going to be playing, no more Daniel Jones. Giants fans don't have to suffer through that anymore, even though it's, not much better. But Tampa Bay versus the Giants. Mike Evans is coming back, it sounds like, here soon, if it's not this week. So, yeah, that's my number 5 game.
My number 5 game, I'm actually going to stick to kind of a local game. I'm going with the Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm intrigued for this game simply because of Bo Nix, folks. I mean, can he build off that game from last week? Remember, he had what was 4 touchdown passes, no picks, over 300 yards. I think he won the AFC Rookie of the Week. He was fantastic. He's got the Denver Broncos with an above 500 record. You're hearing Chiefs fans and Chiefs experts talk about how, golly, Denver's a lot better than I thought they were going to be, so on and so forth. Heck, there's people that are, including yours truly, and other people nationally driving the bus for Bo Nix for Rookie of the Year. And I'm in that boat right now. I think he's playing great. Can he keep that up? The Raiders are not a good team, but here's the thing about the Raiders. They always find a way. When you don't expect them to win a game, they find a way to do it. They did it last year against the Chiefs. They do this kind of stuff. They find ways to beat teams when they shouldn't. This team should be down and out. They got a new coach coming next year, all that stuff. I just think, look out. I think the Denver Broncos, it's a good test for them. Can they become, this is another step in their learning to win process. You're starting to get a little bit of expectations, if you get what I'm saying. So how does it look when you put it all together coming up here on Sunday? So my number 5 game, Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. By the way, Denver, a 6-point favorite going into that game on the road. That says a lot, especially in the NFL. So on to number 4 in the NFL Power 5 here in what is week number 12.
Number 4 on my list, I have tonight's game, Steelers versus Browns. This is just a clash of 2 solid defenses. I know the Browns' record doesn't show that they're remotely close to the level of the Steelers, but this is going to be, even though the Browns aren't good, this is still a test in my mind, especially for Russell Wilson going up against this Browns defense, because they're good. These 2 teams don't like each other. They never have. So it's just kind of going to be a classic sloppy power football Thursday night football game that, we've kind of been accustomed to seeing since Prime took over. It feels like all these Thursday night football games are low scoring, but that's what it's going to be. And I'm kind of excited to watch it tonight because I think the Browns folks do have a real chance at taking down the Steelers tonight.
I'm you remember watching that game with Myles Garrett when he took off Mason Rudolph's helmet?
Yep.
Remember that? I just remember watching. I was like, "Uh-oh."
Yes.
I remember thinking,
Scary.
That's trouble.
Scary.
That is trouble.
That's something I'll never forget.
That game did not. I don't know. That game did not make my top 5. I don't know. I feel like the Steelers are just a way better team than the Browns right now. I guess that's how I would put it. The Steelers are just a way better team than the Browns at this point in time. So that's how I guess I look at that game. All right, moving on. Let's go to my game is going to be the Eagles at the Rams for number 4. The 8-2 Philadelphia Eagles at the 5-5 Los Angeles Rams. Right now, you have Philadelphia on the road all the way across the United States as a 2.5-point favorite at this point in time. I know Jalen Hurts is a little bit questionable. I have no doubt probably, though, that he will play. Look, Saquon Barkley's already over 1,000 yards rushing. That's great. This offense is good. This defense is good. This Philadelphia team is kind of just waiting in the wings. We've talked a lot about the Lions and how good they have been, and make no doubt, they have been very good. But this Eagles team is just about as dangerous. They just aren't getting the love, and they've got plenty of weapons offensively. That young defense is playing very, very well, and that young defense is going to get challenged by one of the best throwers of the football in the game right now in Matthew Stafford. I mean, over 2,500 yards, 13 touchdowns, does have 7 picks, but they got 2 great wide receivers in Cooper Kupp and Puka Nakua, or Puka Nakua. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Puka Nakua. They have plenty of other great weapons as well. So I like this matchup. I like the 2 offenses in this game. So I think it intrigues me. That is going to be the late game on NBC on Sunday Night Football. Eagles, Rams by number 4 in the NFL Power 5.
Well, that's my number 3, Ross, is the Eagles versus the Rams on Sunday Night Football. I think this is a good matchup. I think it's 2 kind of different brands of football, but I think they're going to match up well. The Rams have really shown signs that they can compete in the NFC, even though, at times they've been just kind of what the Rams have been since they won the Super Bowl. It's just when they're healthy, they win games, but it's a matter of if they can stay healthy, and they've got their receivers for this matchup. So it's going to be a tough game, but because the Eagles have been playing some really good football, on brand football. Saquon Barkley has been, beyond incredible for this team, how much he has had an impact. This is going to be a fun game, Sunday Night Football at SoFi, and just one of those primetime games that I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, is going to be close at the end.
Moving on here in the NFL Power 5, game number 3 for me in week number 12. The 6-2 surprising Arizona Cardinals at the 5-5 Seattle Seahawks. A great road test for Kyler Murray, who's having a great season. Just over 2,000 yards passing, 12 touchdowns to 3 picks. He's been very good, but they are a physical. This offense is suited perfectly for Kyler Murray. They run the ball well with their backs. They're a physical running team with James Conner. Murray has a couple of weapons, including Trey McBride, who's one of the most underrated tight ends in the NFL. By the way, the Colorado State grad, 552 yards. He's a real weapon for them. And, of course, you have Marvin Harrison Jr. I like this Arizona Cardinal team. I always kind of liked the Cardinals when they went on that Super Bowl run. I'm kind of starting to fall back in love with the Cardinals again now. I love Kyler Murray. I've talked about before on this show. I think Kyler is a fantastic quarterback. And I just love watching him play. I love his ability to elude tacklers, extend plays, and either get down the field and get a first down and get out of bounds, or throw the football down the field and make big plays with his arm. I love watching him play. And that's why Arizona-Seattle is number 3 right now. Arizona on the road in a tough place to play there at Lumen Field in Seattle, just a 1-point favorite. And once again, Seattle's got a good team too. Geno Smith has shown signs this year of greatness and also terribleness, but he has weapons on the outside as well, whether it's Jackson Smith and Jigma or DK Metcalf. They've got weapons too. I like this game. I think Arizona-Seattle, that's why it's number 3 on my NFL Power 5.
All right, my number 2 on my Power 5, San Francisco versus Green Bay, the matchup you almost see every single year in the playoffs, and it almost always ends in a 49ers win. Look, the 49ers need a win bad. They need a win very bad after Geno Smith ran for a touchdown with 13 seconds left a week ago, moving the 49ers to 5-5. So the Packers, coming off of a blocked field goal, to beat the Bears. I know there was a lot of controversy that I didn't even realize until watching that play over, where they kind of just bulldozed the center, which you're not allowed to do when you're blocking a field goal. So that was interesting. But regardless, this is going to be a great matchup. Jordan Love needs to get some get back after that. People really don't talk about this, Ross, enough, I don't think. But the way that season ended for Green Bay, I know they were kind of playing with house money because no one expected him to make it that far. But Jordan Love threw a cross-body interception with like a minute left on a 2nd and 10 to lose that playoff game. It was, I don't know if that gets talked about a lot still, but that really, they had a lot of time to do something. And Jordan Love kind of threw that game away. Regardless, a rematch of the playoffs, that's my number 2 game, San Francisco versus Green Bay.
I'm telling you right now, Jordan Love has made some unbelievable plays. You're like watching the game, you're like, this is amazing. Look at him go. And then then there's those plays, just like you said, you're like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Don't do that, Jordan. Like,
he's Brett Favre-esque.
He is. But you know what? If he can clean that up a little bit, I'm not saying I'm okay with having one of those every couple of games, but if he can clean that up a little bit and get that to where it's not one every single game and maybe one every 4 games, I'm telling you, he's really shown that he has been great. And he's a prime example of a guy who came in, sat behind, learned. So it has, is having a few rough patches, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot to love about Jordan Love at this point in time, in my opinion. So and I like this game too. It's my number 2 game as well. San Francisco, Green Bay. Look, San Francisco's 5-5, but let's face it, folks. They haven't been at full strength all season. They're probably still not going to be at full strength. Brock Purdy's been is dealing with some stuff. George Kittle's been dealing with stuff. Christian McCaffrey's been dealing with stuff. They've been missing all kinds of weapons on offense and defense. If they ever get healthy, they might actually be pretty darn good. But they got to get healthy. That's going to be the big thing. But I still think when they get healthy, they're going to be a really good team. So they just got to find a way to kind of weather this storm in order to hang in the race here. A big step towards keeping themselves in the playoff hunt would be, of course, winning this game against Green Bay, really helping them out a lot. So we'll see how that all goes at this point in time. So yeah, I would agree. That would be my number 2 game as well. And I think number 1, I'm guessing we're probably in the same stride as well with the Harbowl, correct?
Yes, the Harbowl. Is that what you said, Harbowl?
The Harbowl.
Yeah, Monday Night Football, Ravens versus Chargers. I can't remember if this has ever happened, but going Sunday Night Football at SoFi to Monday Night Football at SoFi?
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't thought of that.
Kind of cool. So Ravens Chargers, the Harbowl, exciting stuff. Have we seen that since the Super Bowl? We had to have, right?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
Okay, interesting. Well, regardless, it's going to be.
Remember, Jim's been at Michigan for the past few years. I don't know if they've played since then.
Yeah, but I didn't know if I don't know. Regardless,
I don't think so.
After the
I
break,
think this is the first time since the Super Bowl.
Okay, well, these are 2 teams. The Ravens are, they're coming off of a loss, correct, Ross?
Yeah, the Ravens last game lost to Pittsburgh. Yeah, 18-16.
Right. I just could not think of who that. Yeah, they lost to Pittsburgh. Chargers are red hot. I'm starting to become a believer in the Chargers to make the playoffs and probably lose in the first round. But, I didn't even think they were going to make the playoffs in the first place. So Harbaugh's got this team going, and this is just going to be an exciting offensive Monday Night Football game. The Ravens defense, I don't know. They've struggled, and this is a good Chargers offense. Ladd McConkey's really impressed me this year. I really, really, really wanted the Chiefs to get him, but he just didn't. He didn't have the speed that Brett Veach is always looking for, so that's probably why we didn't draft him. But
deceptively fast,
huh?
Oh, Ladd McConkey's that typical guy that they go through in the draft. They're just like, he's the hardest working guy. He's a total team guy. Pretty much anything they can say to say that. Well, he's white. That's pretty much what they're trying to say.
I know, but he was he is a very underrated college tape. Like some of the plays he made at Georgia were just. He's so good. I love watching him, and I hate that he's a Charger, but I still love watching him. So regardless, this is going to be hopefully a high scoring and a very fun Monday Night Football game.
He's the first one in and the last one out. That's Ladd McConkey for you. Once again, any way that you can make
Sneaky speed.
Sneaky speed.
Pretty.
For Ladd McConkey at this point in time. Moving on, I agree this is the best game of the weekend, the Harbowl. Both teams have 7 wins coming into this contest. Right now, you've got Ravens on the road as 3-point favorites. By the way, both these teams love to run the football. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. J.K. Dobbins has 700 yards rushing. How about Justin Herbert? 13 touchdowns, 1 pick. It's amazing what you can do as a quarterback when you are not shouldered with the load of having to account for everything. In the previous years, Justin Herbert had all those wide receivers like, you've got to throw the ball. You're our best player. You have to go out and do this. It's amazing what happens when you don't have that pressure on you and you can just go out there and just play quarterback. You have a running game. More teams should be like the Chargers and like the Ravens. Build around your offensive line. They drafted Joe Alt with their first pick. Talk about Ladd McConkey, but they added good pieces on the line. They drafted Joe Alt. They have great pieces all around in that lineup and in the offensive line, and they have a good running back that can run behind him, and then that protects Herbert, who can then make plays to a not as flashy wide receiver core, but still good. And don't forget, both these defenses, particularly the Chargers, by the way, one of the best defenses in the NFL. The Chargers are a great defense. So they've got a great task against Lamar Jackson, that offense. And I'm intrigued to see if Justin Herbert in this offense can put up points against the Ravens. I think this game's very interesting.
I will say, any gamblers out there, Chargers always struggle for whatever reason in these primetime games, their defense to guard the tight end. You see it every year with Kelsey. So maybe look for some Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews stuff when you're betting online.
There you go. Insider information right there from Gershon. There you go. The NFL Power 5. Once again, it's not a great week. I've got Denver at Vegas at 5, Philly at Rams 4, Arizona at Seattle 3, San Francisco at Green Bay 2, and Ravens Chargers, the Harbowl, at number 1 here on the NFL Power 5.
I've got Tampa Bay versus the New York Giants, even though I don't even know if I want to watch that anymore. Steelers versus Browns, Eagles versus Rams, San Francisco versus Green Bay, and then Ravens versus Chargers.
There you go. The NFL Power 5 here on week number 12. We'll get to break, come back. We're talking high school football. Good friend of the program, Travis Smith, the Golden Plains Bulldogs head football coach, joining us next. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
Goodland's Rocket 102.5 is your home for Goodland High School athletics. From touchdowns and three-pointers to home runs, Ross Volkmer has you covered with all the action. Join him for live broadcast on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, your front row seat to the Cowboys and Cowgirls. Select games video streamed on the Goodland Voice. GHS athletics this season are made possible in part by
Farm Credit of Western Kansas, Miller Construction, S&M Recovery and Towing, Land to Legacy Real Estate, and Cornerstone Orthodontics. It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Steve Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Thursday, November 21st. And on the overnights last night, the corn lower a cent at $4.29 1/4, March down a quarter cent at $4.39 3/4, May down a quarter at $4.46 3/4, July down a half at $4.49 1/2. January soybeans up a half cent at $9.91, March unchanged at $9.99 1/4, May down a cent at $10.11 1/2, July down a cent at $10.24 1/4. Chicago wheat, December contract higher 3.5 on the overnights at $5.56, March up 4 1/4 at $5.76 1/2, May up 4 at $5.86, July up 4 at $5.93 1/4. Kansas City wheat, the December contract higher 3 1/4 at $5.65, March up 3 3/4 at $5.76 1/2, May up 3.5 at $5.83 1/2, July hard wheat up 3.5 on the overnights at $5.91 1/2. On the stock market this morning, the Dow up $154 at 43,670. The S&P up 23 at 5,961. Nasdaq up 91 at 20,840. Gold higher $16 an ounce at 2,667, and crude oil up $1.15 a barrel at 70.01. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call, John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Pluto, Jared Law, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
We've been using Pivot Bio for 4 years. The first thing that drove us to Pivot Bio was the unique thought that there's something else out there outside of synthetic nitrogen that can replace it. And the data shows that we are able to replace that 40 pounds, sustain the same yield goals with 40 pounds less synthetic nitrogen. Anytime we can more efficiently use our nitrogen, that is more efficiently using our dollars.
Visit TalkNitrogen.com for your free nitrogen efficiency review. That's TalkNitrogen.com.
Not all seed companies focus. It's what creates value for your business. So if you're dealing with it in the field, we're in the fight with high growth for tough weeds like Texas.
Built for Apple Intelligence with the all-new A18 chip, a new feature camera control, and a big boost in battery life. Get the new iPhone 16 on us. Next Tech Wireless. Home on the range.
The only way to start your day.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
With Ross Volkmer and the Morning Blitz.
Once again, here on a Thursday morning on the Morning Blitz, it's an exciting day. We're in the brand new studios here off Cherry Street in Goodland. I got a text message saying that there would be some people coming by to wave in the window behind me. I haven't seen that yet. Max might have to let me know if that happens at this point in time. But we're excited to welcome onto the program Golden Plains head football coach Travis Smith, who's kind enough to spend some time with us on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware hotline. Coach Smith, thank you so much for joining us today. Tell you what, how exciting are things in Rexford right now with this football team making it all the way to the state semifinals?
First off, thanks for having me. I tell you what, our boys are so excited to be playing in November. You know, there's nothing better than playoff football, and our boys are just ready to go. Our community's excited, so you know, one more day of prep, and we're ready to go tomorrow.
When did you ever have a sense, like when the season began or at some point in time the season, that, you know what, we could make a deep playoff run if things go our way and we can stay healthy?
You know, I think I told you at the beginning of the year in August that we had a shot to be pretty good. We just didn't know how good we could be. And the second week, we played Ingles, very good team. We played extremely well. The score didn't represent how well or how close the game really was. And you know, after that game, you know, I sent a couple friends a text. I said, you know, we are pretty good. And, you know, since that game, our boys have just stepped up and played lights out. And
Thursday night
it's been
football.
a fantastic season.
We're visiting with Travis Smith here on the Morning Blitz, talking Golden Plains football here as his team in the state semifinals.
Coach, looking over some stats from this season, Dylan Wark with 37 touchdowns as well as 6 picks, and Josh Rath with 14 touchdown passes. What have those two meant specifically to your team's success?
You know, we've really been a balanced offense this year. You know, looking just from our game on Friday, Josh had, you know, a couple rushing touchdowns, 100 yards rushing, threw a touchdown. Dylan had 4 rushing touchdowns, and Diego Perez had another touchdown receiving and touchdown rushing. Josh Rath is by far the most improved player I have ever coached here in my 25 years at Golden Plains. He's if you would have told me at this point his freshman year that he was going to be the player he is today, I probably would have called you a liar. I wasn't sure he'd go out for football his sophomore year, but man, has that kid matured. And he has been a leader for us on both sides of the ball. Dylan Wark, you know, he's been a 2-time state placer in the 800 in track, and you can see that on the field. He's fast, very athletic, shifty, and he was the difference in our game Friday night with his 3 interceptions defensively. And you know, South Barbara is a really dynamic offense. They throw the ball, you know, 50 times a game, and our boys did a really good job of stepping up and making some big plays when we needed them.
Once again, we're visiting with the head coach of the Golden Plains Bulldogs. That's Travis Smith here on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. Some teams have just one really good player. You have two really good players. You talked about them both, Wark and Rath at this point in time. But there's other guys, of course, that have really contributed to your team. Can you talk about some of the other guys that have really made a good impact to make this run possible?
Sure. I have 5 seniors that have really been a big part of this. Of course, Josh Rath, and then Miguel Garcia. He's a offensive lineman, tight end type for us. Wyatt Amlong's our starting center. He's been a 2-year starter for us. Owen Patman, Abe Taylor, a couple other seniors. And then, like I mentioned, Diego Perez. He's been a starter for me since his freshman year at defensive end and running back. He's just a dynamic player. He's strong. He's physical. He's more of a old school fullback type. And we love giving him the ball, let him pound people every once in a while. And then one thing that's, people may not see is our kicker, Jose Mendoza. In 6-man, everybody really likes to onside kick, try to get the ball to turn over because it's hard to cover kicks in the open field in 6-man. And Jose's able to put it in the end zone, almost every time it kicks off. And that's such a huge advantage starting on the 15-yard line instead of the 35 or even the 40. So, we can flip the field, from the kickoff, and our defense can get on the field and get ready to play.
Coach, this is a question I like to ask a lot of coaches, but especially when they're in this deep of a playoff run. What's the thing that stands out to you that you guys have improved from the first practice this season to today?
Defense. Our kids have really bought in defensively. And I never would have thought about this group of kids. They're athletic, and offense has kind of been their thing. But, man, they've become hard-nosed. They stick the nose into it. Every defensive play, they love to hit. And, man, just defensively, our kids have just been lights out, and they love to be physical, which is awesome this time of year because it's getting cold and teams are having to run the ball, and our kids like to see that, and they like to thump offenses and, just get after it.
And you talked about that defense. I mean, you've had, 1, 2, 3, 4 games where you've allowed less than, a double-digit points. That's so hard to do in 6-man football. That's just so impressive.
It is. Like I said, when we have practices, our boys are always wanting to get onto the defensive side of the ball, which is fantastic. As a coach, that's what I want to see. They want to pin their ears back and just get after offenses. And, that Pawnee Heights game on that Friday night in the regionals, it was raining, it was cold, but, man, our boys were so excited to get out on the field. And, that was our first shutout of the season. And, man, they just pinned their ears back and got after it. And it's fun to see a team go out and play good, hard defense. And that's what our boys like to do.
Golden Plains head football coach Travis Smith is our guest here on the Morning Blitz, joining us on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. Now, I asked your good friend Brett Clow about this, the bye week in the 1st of November. Do you like that? Did you like that bye week? Did you enjoy your bye?
Well, we had a bye week 2 weeks prior to that. Western Plains had forfeited, and then we played Cheyenne, and then we had another week off. It's okay. We were pretty healthy, so we had to try to find a way to stay focused, but it's not always bad if you're kind of banged up. I'd rather probably been playing, but no, it wasn't bad at all. It allowed us to give us an extra week of prep, and our kids have been locked in, so it's really not a big deal for us. It was good to have.
Coach, what's your main point of attack for this Friday's game?
I tell you what, Brett Clow, Coach Clow, he is the best coach in 6-man football. There's no doubt about it, hands down. His offenses are so multifaceted. I mean, each week it seems like we're preparing for a different offense when he's coaching. We coach at the collegiate level, and each week we have to be fundamentally sound when we play Brett's teams. They're so athletic, so well coached. They're just going to be in the right place at the right time. So you got to try to trick them in some way, to get them to take a false step, to make a misread, to try to take some type of advantage. So our kids we've been really working on, staying patient, not trying to look at all the window dressing in the backfield, staying locked in on our man, and, just staying true to who we are and making the right play at the right time.
How about this? How about the fact that you haven't had a road game in the postseason? The first one's going to be at Weskin. You haven't had to travel very far. How beneficial has that been?
Oh, it's been huge for our boys. Our boys love playing at home, but at the same time, they've mentioned to me that they like getting on the bus and taking that bus ride. When we started six-man several years ago, you know, we were traveling to Moscow. We were traveling to Ashland, you know, traveling to Rolla, those 2.5 hour, 3.5 hour trips. Our boys really don't mind it. So the thing that's going to be different is Wescon's a different atmosphere. You know, they have the new lights now. The community is really behind Brett and his team. And so I didn't do a very good job the last time we went down there getting our boys prepared for the atmosphere. So that's one thing that's got to be different. You know, we played well after the first quarter that last time we played them. And so our focus has been, you know, we're going to step on the field. We're going to be focused from the first whistle, and we're just going to get after it. But our boys are excited, you know, to be playing this late in November. You know, there's only 36 teams that are still doing that, and we're one of them.
With that being said, I know you talked about not getting ready in the first quarter. What else stands out to you about that last meeting with Wescon back on October the 11th? So
when I started prepping for this week, I went back and I scouted that film, and man, we were on our heels the whole first quarter. We weren't physical. We were trying to do too much reading. We weren't just playing and reacting. You know, we just weren't ready to play, and that's on me as a coach. And that's not going to happen this time. We're going to be ready to play.
What's the main thing you do in practice to get your guys ready to play, like you mentioned?
We try to play with tempo. We try to get up and down the field offensively, defensively, in our special teams. When we go into offensive, defensive positions, we try to go with tempo. We try not to stand around. We try to move as much as we can on the field. And we just try to practice that way. We tried to practice a little bit quicker this week, a little more thumping in practice, you know, just to make sure our kids are ready.
How cool is it from your perspective to have the semifinals of the West pretty much be right here in extreme Northwest Kansas, but one of these two teams will represent the Western side? How cool is that?
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome to have, you know, two of the smaller schools in the state, you know, representing, hopefully, you know, representing us well in the six-man state championship game. Cunningham's a heck of a team. So whoever wins this game between us and Weston is going to have everything cut out for us. But, you know, Brett's a great friend, and I wish them nothing but the best. But man, we're gonna pin our ears back tomorrow and get after it, and hopefully we can come out on top. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a nail biter.
Well, we look forward to seeing how it all turns out. Once again, head coach of the Golden Plains Bulldogs, that's Travis Smith. Travis, thank you so much for spending some time with us here on this Thursday. Best of luck on Friday, and hopefully we'll be catching up with you soon, all right?
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Once again, great stuff there from Travis Smith joining us here on the Morning Blitz. All right, we're about 10 minutes till the top of the hour. When we come back, we've got some baseball to get into a little bit, and we will also be talking a little bit about Gino Auriemma. Look for as he became the all-time winningest basketball coach ever, men's and women's. But I have a question about that in the walk-offs. We'll get to all that coming up next. You're listening to a Thursday morning edition of the Morning Blitz.
At FNB Bank, we know family comes first. Whether you're opening a savings account,
Thank you, Travis. Appreciate
strengthening communities. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This holiday season, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has the perfect gifts to make Christmas merry and bright. Need something special for that grill master? Check out their top line of grills and griddles from Blackstone, Traeger, and Weber. Guaranteed to make their holiday sizzle. Stocking stuffers, they've got you covered with tools, gadgets, and must-haves for every DIYer in your life. And tackle winter head-on with their powerful Ego snowblowers, perfect for clearing the way this season. Plus, spruce up your home for the holidays with a fresh coat of Benjamin Moore paint, or get ready for the new year with a stunning remodel. Enjoy the holidays this year with Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, with locations in Goodland and Colby.
Ready to elevate your drive? Pearl Chevrolet GMC has unbeatable offers on the 2024 lineup. Right now, get 0% APR on the powerful GMC Sierra 1500 with a 5.3-liter engine, plus over $3,200 in trade assistance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Or step up to the 2024 Yukon with 5.9% APR for 72 months and make no payments for 90 days. These are the deals you've been waiting for to drive the best of GMC. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas today, or online at hurlchev.com.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery, ingestion, and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
No one rambles on better than Ross Volkmer.
All you do is talk on
the Morning Blitz.
All right, been an interesting show here to kick things off in the new building. Once again, for those just tuning in, yes, Ross is broadcasting from the brand new building on 1803 Cherry, better known as the old Pizza Hut. You know what the most popular question I get asked about this building, Max, is?
What?
It is, does it still smell like pizza? No, it does not. It does not smell like pizza.
It does not.
Yep. So anyway, we are rolling along here on a Thursday. We've got to, I got a question on the walk-off about Gino Auriemma. There is some KJCCC, some Jayhawk Conference hoops tonight. Home games for Colby Community College and Fort Hays Tech Northwest. Colby Community College hosting Independence tonight for a doubleheader of hoops there at the Colby Event Center. And then here inside the Max Jones Fieldhouse, it'll be the home openers as well as the Jayhawk Conference openers for the Fort Hays Tech Northwest Tigers. First games at home as in black and gold for the Tech Tigers. So that will be coming up here, and we will have coverage of that doubleheader right here on 102.5 URock. I'll have some play-by-play of those two games as they welcome in Coffeyville tonight. So the Red Ravens making the cross-state trip all the way to Goodland to take on the Fort Hays Tech Northwest Tigers tonight. Baseball news yesterday, the Rockies have agreed to a deal with Jacob Stallings. He's going to stay with Colorado. Some interesting, it's not very, I mean, they're getting him on a cheap deal, just a 1 year, $2.5 million deal, has an option for 2026. I don't know. I thought he was solid last year. He hit 263 with 9 homers, slugged 453. He was a Gold Glove winner a couple of years back. By the way, he holds the MLB record for consecutive games at catcher without a pass ball. That's 247. So he's a wall back there.
Yeah, he's a very good defensive catcher. He only played 80 games last year. I think, Jacob Stallings, when he was coming up, he was one of the top prospects in the league. When he was with the Pirates, he played with Miami for a bit. But I think it's a good signing. I think if he stays healthy, he's a solid catcher, like you said, very, very strong defensively. So I think it's a good move for the Rockies. I do.
Wonder what he's got for Cavs. Wonder if he's got good Cavs.
I would assume solid. I'm not sure if they're up to Danny Gershon level Cavs. But that's to be seen. He's got to. We'll see about that.
That's my favorite quote since you've joined the team, is talking about Gershon Cavs. It's my favorite one. It's going to be in a show intro one of these days. I will guarantee it.
Yeah, we got to get that in the show intro.
It's going to be there. Trust me. Gershon men have amazing calves.
And it's a fact. You should have seen us at the wedding. Wedding. I mean, it's just a bunch of, it's funny because the uncle that was getting married is the only tall one in the family. He's about 6 feet, 6'1", but everyone else is like me. Short.
5'8" to 5'10", somewhere in that range.
That's being generous.
Being generous.
That's being generous.
So, did everyone wear suits, or did people wear shorts to show off the calves of the Gershon family?
No, tuxes. Oh, okay. Tuxes. It was tuxes. I wish. That would be a great picture, though. Maybe my wedding.
There we go. Tux on top, shorts on the bottom to showcase the calves. That would be great. And AL and NL Cy Young winners were announced yesterday. Tarek Skubal winning it for the Tigers, and Chris Sale getting it for the Braves. Do you like those picks?
I mean, yes, I absolutely do. Tarek Skubal was incredible all year. He was undisputed, not a single first place vote for anyone else in the American League. Seth Lugo got 14 second place votes, and Cole Reagan's got 3 second place votes. So that's 2 Royals in the top 4, which is just beyond impressive and beyond belief. So shout out to those two. Emmanuel Clase finishing in 3rd, Cole Reagan's finishing 4th. But yeah, Tariq Schoolable is ridiculous. And then Chris Sale with just a career resurgence with the Atlanta Braves finishing in first, and then Zach Wheeler finishing in second with 4 first-place votes. Paul Skeens finishing in third. And, kind of surprising, I think Michael King finished down the list, but I think he should have honestly finished third above Skeens. That's my opinion. You can argue that Skeens should have finished third, but, that's just what I think.
Nonetheless, Skeens, I love when they ask Skeens about his beard on why he said, I don't know, just doing it, bored.
Yes, he is. He's a rough interview. He's the opposite of Brian Haney. I'll say that.
You can't get Brian.
Love Brian Haney. Love him, but he's the complete
Brian's
opposite.
great, but we were laughing, and I knew that was going to happen because we've had him on the show before, but that was the first time Max got to visit with him on the radio, and Brian can go on about one question for 2 minutes. He's
funny. Actually, I met Brian a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
At KU. I doubt he remembers me, but great guy. I'm just saying. Paul Skeens says two-word answers, and there's a picture of him and of course Livy, his girlfriend, when he wins the Rookie of the Year, and she's like all excited and bubbly, and he's just straight face, doesn't care. He does care. I don't know. I don't know what it is. He's locked in, I guess.
Opposites attract, I guess, would be the first thing there. And
yeah, what a year he had.
And also, yeah, he had a great year. I think he's a hell of a pitcher. And I love his story. Remember, he was not highly recruited. He was a catcher and pitcher at Air Force, people. Transfer portal, went to LSU, and now he's one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. He would have been in our military if they hadn't seen him. That's amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. All right, we got to get out of here. Let's get to the walk-off.
Walk-off with a walk-off. His second walk-off hit of the season. In walk-off fashion, that baby's go.
So last night, Gino Auriemma with the win becomes the all-time wins leader in college basketball. He passed Vandiver, who was the head coach at Stanford, and recently just broke this record not too long ago. I think it was last year that she got it done, and then she retired, and now Gino's doing it, and now he's got it. The question I have for you, Max, you think Bill Self will surpass him?
Bill Self just got his 800th, correct?
Right, he's 400 away.
400. I mean, man, that is tricky. He's got to coach for a long time for that to happen. And I mean, Gino's been there since 85 or something like that. He's been there forever.
Been there for a long time.
So, I mean, that is tough, but it does make it even more impressive that Bill Self's been there for a lot less, and he is only 400 away.
I will say this: if there's going to be anybody to do it, I think it will be Bill. That's my point. If it's going to be anybody to surpass that record, because I think Gino's probably going to go for a few more years, so that means Bill's going to have to keep going. But here's the thing: Bill has the program, the resources, and he wins 25 games a year, so he's going to get the most bang for his buck every single time he steps on the floor.
That's a lot more seasons for him to coach. That I hope he stays forever. I hope Bill Self never leaves because he's one of the GOATs in my sports life. But he's got to coach a lot longer. And you're right though, Ross. I don't think there's anyone that maybe ever will be closer in men's basketball than Bill Self to being in that conversation. So
for Max, I'm Ross. Thanks again for joining in. We'll see you on a Friday.
Rocket 102.